G'day, Vibers. See if anybody shows up for this one. Hope you're all doing well, my friends. Let's play a bit of music and talk gardening and the body. Or whatever you want to talk about. That's a little better. Play guitar. Welcome to the Vibes. The No BS Zone. How y'all doing out there? Hope you're doing well. And I hope you're all having a good night because I've had a pretty good day so far. Anyways. Awesome. Thank you for subscribing, Dylan. I'm doing pretty good, thanks. Pretty good. Not too bad. I've been practicing here and there since I was a teenager, you know what I mean? not into. Oh. That should do. Sorry about that. Thanks for joining along, guys. Hey there, Winter McKee. Thanks for joining along. Yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm the Slash, and I'm just fooling around. You know what I mean, but you know, I don't know. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Oh. But let me see here. G'day. The northern kid. Oh, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining, my friend. Hi, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Hey, Darren. Do you have a pair of boots with laces at all? I do actually. Yes. Ottawa, can I please get it? Thanks for joining along, guys. I do have some boots with laces, but I've never actually really. Hey Michelle, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. I've never actually worn boots in my videos so far. Can you do me a favor with them, please? Yeah, I could probably do a good something with them if you want, if it's feasible. Yeah. But every time you smoke, it takes. You're right. You're right. It is something I'm trying to cut back on and quit. It is a bad habit. You do have a good point there. But yeah, and I should know that because I've done a lot of research on the body, and I do know it's definitely bad for you. You've got a good point there, my friend. But if you quit smoking, that'll really make my day. I am really trying to quit. It is kind of one of those I've been thinking it for the last couple of months, and it is a pretty hard habit to quit. I've been smoking for quite some time, but it is something I've been thinking of quitting though. And it is it's definitely bad for your lungs. I was actually doing a video, thinking of doing a video on why smoking is bad, and as as bad as it is to smoke on a video, I was going to smoke, but I was going to smoke it through like a Kleenex or something to show all the tar that shows up on the Kleenex, so people can realize what ends up in your lungs, because it is not good for you. And sometimes when you start at a younger age, you don't realize how much damage you're doing to yourself. You know what I mean? Can you please do me a favor with your boots? Definitely, I'll definitely give it a shot. Can you please promise me? Ooh, that would suck. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I tie them. And yeah, I've had some pretty close calls, and you do make a good point because I'd rather not hurt myself. And to be honest with you, I've already tripped 3 times recently, to be completely honest with you. And I've hurt my tailbone, and I've hurt my knees, and I've broken my hand before, and I've re-hurt it the second time I fell, I think it was. So yeah, like I'm trying my best not to fall anymore. I've even starting putting my well, I've got, I don't know what you call them. You slip over your shoes, and it's almost like those cleats, but for football and stuff. But it slips over your. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Oh, definitely will, my friend. And I mean, and it's the same with my shoes. I always tie my shoes, and 98% of the time I do tie my boots. But there has been the odd time I've gone in a rush and just not. But I've slipped enough times where I usually like to. I'm kind of OCD over that, where I like to have tight footwear, so then that way, if I do have to get into a jog or a sprint for whatever reason, I don't know. It's just something about a tight shoe that kind of makes me feel a little more comfortable trying to get a boot on it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Just always kind of helps me. You know, I've always felt more comfortable walking even just in tight footwear, just because I hate trying to walk in loose footwear. You know what I mean? But thanks for joining along, Daryl. It's nice to hear from you. Ah, messed that up a bit, didn't I? Sorry. Yeah, definitely. I like to, yeah, you can sit right, definitely. And I mean, I'm glad I'm able to sit again because I hurt my tailbone the last time I fell, and yeah, that wasn't very pleasant. I can tell you that much. But I hope you're all doing well out there. If you've got any musical questions, or if you've got any, I will definitely tie them. I do promise. I usually do. I almost always tie my shoes, and I've always got the ladies at work where every time I've got an untied shoe, they're usually the first ones to mention it, which I'm quite thankful for. It helps me out a lot. I don't like tripping. Um, Actually, I don't even know why I grabbed that. I'd rather be playing something else right now, maybe the guitar or the bass. But yeah, I do think proper footwear is definitely important. A lot of people don't realize that. I mean, between the fact of just the sole being grip worthy and being able to walk properly, I find a lot of people don't quite realize how important a good footwear is. And not to mention, the comfort of the soles and how it supports your feet, how it supports your knees, and how it supports your back, even. I don't think people realize quite how the frame of the skeletal system works. And I think a lot of people could definitely improve their posture. And I know I've been bad for slouching a lot more in the past, and I do occasionally still do, but I generally don't like to wear my boots in the house. I don't. It's just causes too much of a mess. You know what I mean? It's just too much of a pain in the butt. You know what I mean? But because I was already wearing them today, I ended up putting them on to get to work this morning, and I've been kind of wearing them all day. And ooh, shoot, I don't want to kind of be tracking snow and slush all through the house, you know what I mean? Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. But I mean, I hope you're all doing well out there in the vibes. Well, I mean, guess I can give it a shot. I'll be back in a quick second. Hi, here I am. Sorry about that, guys. Finally got him. Hope you're all doing well. But I guess I could do a quick video on my boots for once. I usually wouldn't. This one's already tied, so I'm just going to slip it on. Don't know how the other one came untied. Hope you're all doing well. You even tie. Yeah, definitely. I'm usually. I like to go quick. A lot of my friends and coworkers even say that I tend to be one of the more, I wouldn't say rush, but I like to get things done quickly. I like to get things done efficiently and not waste my time. And I try to be the same with my videos. I've made a few videos that I try to make them quick because I don't like wasting your time anymore than I like wasting mine. But I mean, I seriously think I have ADHD. I just have a hard time trying to keep focused, and I ramble on, and I try to make it quick, but it doesn't always work out that way. You know what I mean? Let's give a bit more light, actually. Actually, I'm gonna switch over to my other bass. Have a bit more fun with that guy. I love both my basses, but I really like playing this one. I love the crispness to it. I love the neon colored strings I got for this guy. It's just beautiful. Turn it back on. Maybe, yeah. Like, what were you thinking, my friend? What kind of things are you in the hospital for, my friend? I do like medical science, and I'm sorry you're in there, but I'm honestly hoping you're healing well. I'm hoping they can help you out. I've spent my time in the hospital, and I've also had a few family members who've spent their time in the hospital too. So I'm hoping you're doing well. And if I can give you any advice on dealing with certain pains, because I mean, you mentioned your hips, and I've definitely not had a whole lot of hip pain, but my hip's been hurting lately. But I probably don't have the same issue you're having either, you know. But broken hip and leg. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear, my friend. That's terrible. Like, I mean, the broken leg and hip would be bad enough. I mean that really immobilizes you because it really stops you from walking, moving, rolling, laying, sitting, any of that, you know. But then the tumor in your, I'm sorry, my friend. Um, if the tumor is operable, which it is, it's brain surgery. Sometimes it's not. It's very complicated. Um, Hopefully it's operable, or hopefully they might be going through chemo with you, and if they are, I'm really sorry for the pain and stress you're going through. I've had family who's had cancer and have had to go through chemo, and if that's what they're going through with your operation there, then I'm really sorry for all the pain you're going through. I'm hoping you can overcome this, but my heart goes out to you, Mr. Matthews. My best of wishes to you. I'm really hoping you're doing well, my friend. My heart goes out to you. Oh, for sure, yeah. Oh, let's see here. I'm gonna turn this off so I can unplug it and not deafen you while I do that. Because when you unplug an electric guitar or a bass or anything like that you know, without unplugging it, it really screeches at you most of the time. And actually, it's probably good to get me doing this because I've been meaning to do this for a while, and it's probably better I get it done now. And so that way, when I'm wearing my boots, they're ready to go, and I'm more stable on my feet because I've already had a few trips lately. Oh, I gotta get new laces on this, so. But I hope you're all doing well out there. You never know what's gonna happen. But every day is a new day, and your health is the most important thing in the world, I find. Sorry about that, my friend. Yeah, I'm actually shooting this on my phone if I had to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, this will actually be great because then whenever I do, I was thinking of doing some foraging videos in the next while. And I've done a fall foraging video, but I want to do a winter foraging video when they're all tied up now. Having tied up boots will help me get what I have to get done out in the bush without getting my shoes soaked and my socks soaked, you know what I mean? So thanks for reminding me about safety, actually, because that's one thing I like to strive to people, but something I sometimes forget myself. I have a laptop, but it doesn't have a camera on it, and I do have a webcam, but I've misplaced it. I don't remember what I've done with it. And I do want to start doing my live streams on the webcam, but I've kind of misplaced the webcam, so I don't know what I've done with it, but I am looking for it though. I keep forgetting to roll my sleep up for this stuff. Okay, yeah, but yeah, here's a newer instrument I've gotten recently you guys might be somewhat interested in. This is called the Vibra Slap, and it's kind of, oh, let me see, let's loosen up it. No, I gotta tighten it a bit maybe. And that's kind of like the crazy train sound, yeah. You hear, you know what I mean? And it's basically this ball attached to this weird handle-shaped thing, and you've got this thing that almost resembles a cowbell, but in the center of it, let's see if I can get my light up here a bit better. There's all of these teeth in it that these metal teeth in the center of the cowbell section that actually kind of works to make that vibration sound. I am worried that you may have. Oh no, it's all good. Like I can always untie them a bit and loosen them and then tighten them again. I'll be safe as I can, you know what I mean? I've always been one to strive safety because it's so easy to, and that's the thing, it's easy to become displacent when you become used to routine, when you become used to the same thing over and over again. It's so easy to make simple mistakes because you're just not paying attention. We're all human, and as smart as you can become and as talented as you can become, unfortunately sometimes we make mistakes, and you know, it's so easy to not realize you're making the mistakes until it's too late, unfortunately. It kind of reminds me of a commercial that yeah, I'm sure you've all seen, you know. Actually, yeah, they do. They feel a little more snug on the ankles and on the shins. So, I mean, I'm glad you brought it up because it was actually a much better fit. And I wish I did that earlier, to be honest with you. Um, Good thinking. Great thinking. But I hope you're all doing well. But how are you doing today, Mr. Matthews? I mean, I'm sorry for your dismay. I hope you're doing well. I have spent my time in the hospital, but I've never quite had hip issues or tumors or brain issues in that regard. So like my heart goes out to you, my friend, and I really look out for your I hope you're doing well, my friend. No, I'll probably wear them tied up because I'm actually liking how they're fitting now. It's actually a much better fit, to be honest with you. So thanks for suggesting it, and I should have done that before, but that's how it was. That's awesome. I'm sorry about your head though, but I mean, I really hope you're doing well soon, my good friend. I mean, like I've spent my time in the hospitals, but I've never quite had issues with the hips. My issues were often I have an inner ear disorder called glue ear. Um, it's where like there's something that I forget the name of it. There's something that helps your inner ear drain, and it would block for me. And so like I have a hard time hearing. And then I've got like I used to have something called strabismus, where my right eye would point in because of muscle issues I had, but I've had surgery for that, and then I've had let me think. I've had strep throat at least 12, 13, 14 times or something like that. Like I had it at least once a month for like 12, 13 months straight, and sometimes twice a month, and I would spread it. And then I've had a hernia, I've had tonsillitis, I've had problems with my tonsils and adenoids. I've had so many problems, like I totally understand what you mean. Yeah. Uh, let's see here. And they've got pretty good grip on the bottom too, you know what I mean? But I got them tied right up to the top, you know what I mean? It's a good idea. I'm glad I tied them up. That was a good idea, actually. Thanks. I love these boots. I got them for Christmas. I think my mom got them for me a few years ago. You know, she knows I like to go out ice fishing and um, trekking through the bush and doing a lot of different things. And sometimes it's the winter when I'm doing it, so it's always nice to have good footwear. You know what I mean? Oh, I definitely will. I definitely will. I've learned my lesson from many trips. Trust me. But yeah, like I've been yeah, tying my shoes a lot better, and I've been using my strap-on cleats to help me stay a little more stable too. Because I've had a few trips lately, and I don't feel like falling anymore, and it sucks. You know what I mean? It definitely sucks. You know what I mean? But yeah. Like, so are you into, like, before you got injured, like, what kind of things were you into? Like, are you into gardening? Are you into fishing? Are you into racing? Are you into sports? What kind of things do you like to do, my friend? Like, what kind of things are you interested in out there? Yeah, like, and I am hard of hearing. I'll be first to admit it. I'm hard of hearing. You know what I mean? But first couple of years of my life, I kind of communicated through broken. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I love fishing and sports. I fish all the time. I'd love to go to the Great Lakes and do a bit of fishing and maybe 'cause I have a buddy who goes down to the Great Lakes occasionally, and he's caught in the odd salmon, and that would just be awesome. Like I'd love to go down there and catch a nice big salmon. That would just be wicked. I love fishing. You know what I mean? Yeah, me too. Yeah, that'd be wicked. You know, and I often like when I first started, like I started fishing when I was 5, 6, maybe younger. But I mean, when I was young, like I was never a huge seafood fan, and even that fishy flavor wasn't my favorite. But as I've kind of grown older, because I used to be catch and release all the time, but oh, I love fishing, but now that I've gotten older, I've gotten to thinking like with the price of groceries always going up, but I love fishing anyways. Like I've tried the odd couple of fish prior, and I thought like it's not terrible, and if you catch the right one, why the heck not? So I started eating a lot of my catches, and I figured, like, and I realized, like, geez, I don't mind a lot of this, like whether it was rock bass, right, your largemouth, smallmouth, perch, pickerel, trout. I don't mind salmon and tuna and stuff. Like, why am I throwing this back? Like, I figured it's a free fish and I love fishing and I'm catching them all the time. Why not bring them home with me, you know? So that's when I just started. And of course, I'm a gardener too. So, like, I always compost the guts and the bones and stuff, and it adds calcium and iron and a lot of other different types of macronutrients and micronutrients back to the compost, which adds to the soil, and it's that much extra food I get, right? I mean, with the prices of everything going up, it makes sense to try to be as self-sufficient as you can, in my opinion. And I'm not saying I'm perfect at it, but I've spent a lot of my I've spent a lot of my life fishing and hunting. Well, I've done a bit of hunting, but I've spent a lot of my life fishing and quite a lot of it gardening too. So I mean, I've definitely put my time in, and it's part of the reason I started this channel because I also wanted to start making videos on gardening because, I, you know, and I'm not saying I'm like the master gardener, but I've gardened on and off for most of my life. I've worked two different landscaping jobs. And the first one I spent the most time with, and the boss was a horticulturist. And he spent years in it. He was a buddy of mine. He spent years in college learning about horticulture. And I'm telling you, I haven't been able to point out a plant yet that he couldn't tell me the Latin name for and where it came from and where it originated in and what kind of soil it likes and the sunlight it prefers and the pH level and this and that. But I'm like, the guy was a genius when it came to this stuff, and I'm pretty good with it with experience. But my gosh, he was brilliant when it came to this stuff too, and he's taught me quite a bit too. But a lot of it also comes from experience and a bit of research because I have a Facebook group called the Ottawa Valley Gardens and Games Bartering Group, where people who fish or hunt or garden or preserve or pickle or bake or whatever can go to either trade off some of their access stuff so they're not getting as much waste, but they're adding variety to their diet while saving a couple of dollars on groceries, and we can work together. And it's also a way to learn from each other. I'm constantly posting information in there just to help people get more self-sufficient, more into a community where we're helping each other rather than relying on taxes and the government. You know what I mean? Wait. And, oh yeah, let's see here. See if I can. It's hard to. So I've got a pretty short card on that, but it's camouflage on the sides. You know, but you know, I know I've definitely spent my times in the hospitals for sure. You know what I mean? And I love them too. I'm glad my mom got them for me. I love these boots, and I've spent quite a bit of time hiking and going through the bushes with them in the wintertime, and even in the spring when you know it's going to be muddy out there and it's going to be wet. You know what I mean? But you know, I really love them. They're pretty awesome. But let's see. Seem to be having an issue with this app at the moment for some reason. That's weird. This app's working just fine, so this one should be. What can you do, right? Maybe I'll just stick with the acoustic guitar for now. Have a bit of fun with that, because there's a lot more you can do on the guitar anyways, right? Oh boy. But like I don't know, like I've hoping you can get out of the hospital soon and get back into fishing, my good friend. Because I know I've spent my time, like with my inner ear disorder, my eye disorder, and I've had my tonsils removed, my adenoids removed. I've had, as I said multiple times, with strep throat. I've had a lot of time, you know, with my sleeping disorder and a lot of other issues I had growing up. Like I've spent my time in the hospital, and I know it can really suck. So I'm hoping you get out of there soon, my friend. You know, but you know, I've never really done a whole like cause I used to research medical science all the time, so I do know a lot about the body and everything. I've researched a bit on brain tumors, but that's not something I have a lot of knowledge on myself, to be honest with you either. But as I mentioned, I do a lot of gardening, and the one horticulturist I did landscaping with for a few years, his mom actually, I think, or at least he said, broke the world record for having the most brain tumors removed in one surgery or something like that. You know, um, I am going in for surgery next week. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna be scary. And I've gone in for at least 7 or 8 surgeries myself, and that's a scary thought, but I've never gone for brain surgery, and I gotta imagine that's gotta be that must be like a lot of weight on your mind. So I'm sorry for that, my friend. And I mean, I know I've been worried going into some of my surgeries, especially my eye surgery, because I'm like, it's right here in my face. You know what I mean? This is gonna probably hurt. I don't know if I'm gonna go, because I was a kid at the time. I was like, my eye surgery. I was maybe 6, 7, 8. I don't remember exactly. I've had so many surgeries as a kid. I don't remember, but like I was a kid at the time. I was maybe grade 3 or 4 or something. No, it was grade 2 or 3. So like I was pretty young at the time, and I was pretty scared about that one because I was scared like, what if they hurt my eye? What if I go blind? What if it hurts a lot when I wake up? Am I gonna be able to see again? Am I gonna be? And it was a simple surgery, but I didn't know that at the time. I was a kid. And I totally know the feeling. You know what I mean? But I mean, I really, I'll pray for you, my friend. I really do hope the best for you. I really do hope that the surgery goes well, and I'm hoping I can talk to you again because you seem like a legit pretty cool guy, man. And I'm hoping you're doing well because I know life is rough as it is, and it's hard. And I'm really hoping you make it out of this better off than you are now, at least. And like granted, like they've come a long way in medical science, and in fairly way, the brain is a confusing spot still in medical science, although they've come so far in it that I'm sure you've got a better chance than not. But I don't know the degree of what's going on either. But compared to say even 1,000 years ago, where the best they could do for you was drill a hole in your head to relieve the pressure, thinking that might help with a migraine or some stuff. Like, I'm really hoping, you know, definitely I'll be here for a good while. I was planning on staying for a couple of hours, my friend. I love chatting with you. You seem like a pretty awesome person. I'd love to be here to chat with you because it's pretty awesome to get to know you. I'm glad you stopped by, my friend. I'm glad you're here. And my greatest apologies for all you're going through because I think like you've probably gone through enough in your life, and it'd be a blessing if you could just get through this. You know what I mean? Because I know I've gone through my medical issues too, and I'm sorry for everything you're going through. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna stick around for at least an hour or two. You know what I mean? But you know, so like, where are you? Are you in Canada? Are you in the States? Are you in Europe? Are you, maybe South America? I have the feeling you're probably in North America, but it's hard to tell. I have had European audiences, but it's pretty late there. Definitely won't. I usually don't, but from here on in, I promise I won't, because I definitely do not want to be tripping in. Oh, sweet, I'm in Canada too. Wicked. I'm in the Ottawa Valley area. I'm a little while out of Ottawa. I'm not too far from Ottawa. But that's pretty wicked. And I mean, the good thing is that, I mean, I wouldn't say we have the best healthcare system, but it's a lot better than America, in my opinion. And I know some people might argue that fact, but at least there's a bit more of a plan involved. Granted, like, I mean, there's a lot of countries like France or Italy or Croatia or a lot of European countries where literally everything's covered, including your travel to get there. Oh, sweet. That's pretty wicked. That's pretty wicked. Sweet. Yeah, and I mean, Canada's definitely a, the worst is the cold winters, and of course you're living here too, so you know how cold it's been. I mean, well, maybe you haven't been outside, but I mean, it's been a cold one lately, and I mean, walking to work has been not so fun. But I mean, at least summer's spring hopefully is on the way soon. Like the days are slowly getting longer, so I'm hoping in the next month or two it starts warming up. I want to get ice fishing at least once or twice more before the end of the winter, though, because I haven't gone yet. And I got this pop up tent I'd love to start using, but I haven't really used it much yet lately. But yeah, I love fishing, and I mean, it'd be wicked to get out ice fishing again. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, I mean, I think the world's kind of a. Let's see. Definitely. I'll definitely tie them up. I'll, I'll definitely tie them up. And I often wear my shoes a lot of the time, anyways. Mostly because like I do wear my boots sometimes, but I'm pretty lucky. I live on the same street I work on. The company I work for is literally like half a block up the road, so I can walk to work in like 2 minutes or something. So I usually just throw my shoes on, but they're usually tied up all the way because a lot of like there's spots where I work where you don't need steel toe shoes or boots, but where I work I often like where I often go, there are sections you need steel toes. So I would just throw on my steel toe shoes so I can just rush to work and at least that way, I mean, if I do have to go to the certain sections that require steel toes, I'm not infringing on policy and everything. And I've done it, but like I try not to because most people don't really care, but like some people will whine and complain, and I understand their point because they do have a point. Because if something goes wrong, you don't want to be breaking a toe or something, and it makes sense. Safety is there for a reason, right? So like it makes sense to kind of try to be safe about it. You know, definitely because I mean, and I've worked a lot of different types. Well, wouldn't say a lot of different types of jobs, but I've worked in a few different types of jobs where it comes whether it's restaurants and fast food or if it's I've done like I used to be a traffic control technician shutting down highways for a living for construction purposes. I've done, you know, what I'm doing now. I've done landscaping. I've done a few different things when it comes to sewing and stuff. And a lot of the jobs I've had, safety has usually played a part because there's usually something in the workplace that can hurt you. Whether it's a sewing machine, whether it's the traffic, whether it's the hot oil, whether it's whatever. And it's better to play it safe and not get injured. You know what I mean? I uh yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of how I can sit where, cause like I'm shooting on my phone right now, and I've got it up leaning against the back of my computer screen on my computer table. It's not quite a full desk. I got rid of my computer desk, but I just don't know how I'd get it up there. Yeah, for sure. And I do apologize. I've been kind of messing around with the light quite a bit, and I do apologize. You know what I mean? But uh, trying to think of what I can do to help you see them, because I mean, it's kind of hard unless I hold my feet up the whole time. But don't know if I mentioned I've fallen a couple of times lately myself, so my tailbone is still a little sore, and my hips and lower back is still a little sore. And granted, probably not as sore as you are. Fair enough, but I think it would be hard for me to hold my feet up the entire time in this chair, to be honest with you. As much as I'd love to show you the boots the whole time, I just think it would be uncomfortable and, you know. But, I mean, I'm trying to think, hmm. I've got the spare room across the hall here, but I've got I consider that my grow room, so I have a lot of herbs and plants and grow lights and whatever in there right now. And then I've also got my drum kit in there, and then I'm holding on to a lot of stuff for a friend of mine. She's just recently moved, so I'm kind of holding on to stuff for storage, and it's kind of one of those scenarios. It's pretty packed in there, so I guess if I sat on the floor there, it'd be uncomfortable in the tailbone. But I guess if I put a pillow under me, but it's pretty crowded in there right now, and I feel like it would be such a close shot. You wouldn't be getting too much of a good view of them, anyways. You know what I mean? I do apologize. So, it's just kind of one of those scenarios. I'm trying to think of the best way I can do it. Because, I wasn't quite prepared for the request, or I would have thought it out a bit better, and I would have probably come up with a better idea. But I wasn't quite prepared for the request. I thought people would. Because to be honest with you, this is kind of my second live stream, and my first live stream was literally earlier on today. So, this is a new concept to me, to be entirely honest with you. And I kind of like my channel kind of revolves a lot around either medical stuff or a lot about musical stuff, to be honest with you, or gardening stuff or foraging and stuff, but a bit about medical stuff. And it's kind of one of those scenarios. I thought the topics would have been more along those lines, so I wasn't quite prepared for, you know. Um, maybe what if I did? I could, I guess, put it down here for a minute so you can kind of see them, you know what I mean? If that makes a difference. But, you know, I just have a harder time yeah, I agree. Just have a harder time seeing you down here. Thanks, bro. Uh, that. Sorry, I gotta pick the phone up to see what you're saying, my friend. Sorry. That. Boot. Yeah, boot. the right boot wasn't going up all the way because it's starting to, you know how the outer layer will sometimes shed a bit, it's starting to squish and stuff, so I'm probably going to replace that lace, to be honest with you, just to make it better. Yeah, I think anyways. Yeah, definitely. Give it a shot. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that, man. I disconnected from the internet for some reason. But I did tie up. Oh, I did tie up the other shoe though. It's now all the way up. You know what I mean? So now they're both up. Sorry about that, man. Disconnected from the internet for some reason. My phone's being a jerk. But I mean, granted, they're starting to shed a bit, but they're still pretty stable condition, so they're working. They're still working. You know what I mean? They're doing all right. You know what I mean? But I mean, definitely should get new shoelaces for it. That is for sure. But I mean, I hope you're doing better soon, though, Mr. Matthews. Sorry for your dismay, you know what I mean? But, you know, I'm sure soon enough, I mean, things will get better. Life kind of works in mysterious ways sometimes, and sometimes good things happen, and sometimes bad things happen, and you know, it kind of sucks. You're on the downturn right now, but I'm sure soon enough you'll be on the upturn. things will get better again. But in the meantime, I'm sorry for what you're going through, my friend. I really am. But I think I'm going to take these off for now just because my feet are getting a little warm. Definitely not indoor footwear. But I mean, I hope you're all doing well out there. And to my new friend, Mr. Matthews, my greatest wishes out to you. It's been awesome chatting with you, and my best of wishes to you. So, I mean, yeah. If anybody has any kind of questions on music or gardening or a bit on medical stuff, if you want, I have done a lot of research on that kind of stuff. But maybe we could just have a good time. I can play a bit of music. We can chat it up, see what all happens, and go from there. You know what I mean? But it's been a cold one up here in Canada, and I'm definitely looking forward to spring where I can at least do a bit easier fishing and gardening. You know what I mean? But while it's winter, each day is a new day, and I'm hoping that you're all doing well out there. Each day is a new day. Yep. But is there anything you guys wanna play or talk about or converse about? Cause I'm pretty open. I'm in a pretty open mood. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Base right here. Wasn't that the strangest thing? There we go. So, like, how have you all been out there in the valley? Has there been any good news? So, I mean, is there anything you guys were thinking of? Anything you guys wanted to talk about? Anything you guys wanted to request? If you guys wanted to learn anything about musical instruments, if you guys wanted to learn about anything specifically, whether it was interesting fact actually coming back to the banjo for a minute. Something I didn't know for the longest time. I just recently found this out about a year ago, a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. The banjo actually came from Africa, and I didn't know this for the longest time, and never really knew where it came from. But believe it or not, the banjo actually came from Africa way back in the day, and mind you, granted, back then it didn't look like this exactly. It was usually made out of a gourd, the plants there, the gourd, and it would often have a hide stretched across it, and often enough it would only have one or two, three strings or something. I feel like maybe you might have gotten a four or five, but I don't know if that was very common back then. I think when they first started, it was probably only two or three strings at most. But it was a pretty interesting instrument that came over from Africa, and I'm kind of glad it came over because I thought it was a pretty twangy, interesting instrument. You know what I mean? Doesn't quite match. Doesn't quite match other sounds you'll ever hear. Granted, I also find that a lot of people confuse the banjo for the banjitar, which is kind of a guitar, but with the the drum piece here, that to kind of give it that twang, right? You know what I mean? And yes, there's the six string banjo is used, just a banjitar, but yeah, reality though, I mean, I feel like they're different instruments. A lot of musicians agree here, but reality though. I mean, they're both very interesting instruments. I personally think they sound amazing. So if you're into the musical type of hobbies, whether it's the drums, the bass, the guitar, the banjo, the trumpet, maybe you've got your own instrument, but excuse me, I've got a Facebook group you might be interested in, perhaps, called the Worldwide Musical Society, for people who like to play music or like to show off their instruments or their practice or their skill and whatever. But might be something you're interested in. Also part of another music group called Our Music Emporium. That's an interesting one. That's on Facebook. There's another one. I can't think of it right now, but I'll mention it another time. But you know, anyways, might start calling it a night soon. It's starting to kind of quiet down. I'll hang around for a little while longer. Um, see what goes on. I'm gonna just get to that right now. Usually really good at that. Anyways, I think I gotta call it a night soon. It's been a fun round, but maybe time to call her in for now. But I hope you're all doing well, and maybe I'll try again tomorrow. Hope you're all doing well. Take care.